I just wanted to do this centering, opening centering meditation on bringing, I'm going to call it bringing in your tribe. And we've done this before, but so I have to leave the door open or it's baking in here. So just try to dog barking.
That's okay.
So close your eyes if you feel comfortable. I'm practicing my stuff, so. And I want to invite you to let go of the day, to really give yourself this time and space. Really be in a sacred time and space, especially as we move into this session today. It's really a powerful turning point. So imagine if you can, a golden circle, and you're standing, there's this light of gold around you. And you're standing there in the middle. You're standing tall. Think about the best thing about being the age you are now. Think about how you felt when you had an accomplishment, or someone gave you a compliment about something you felt really good about, that you expanded about, your feelings expanded when they told you how amazing you are. Really be in that true self, that one who's radiant, who accomplishes, who is in alignment with your destiny, with what you want to manifest and create in life. Just tap into her, into who she is, that beautiful part of you, that wise woman who knows what she knows. These lessons do not go wasted on you. You have learned so many things and it has made you wise. So just feel the expansion of yourself into this circle, this wise self. And now think about a time when you were connected with nature or when you had a spiritual experience. Something happened and you just felt it at a deeper level. Something powerful. Just feel what that feels like in your body and notice where you feel it. This wide and deep, this spiritual experience. And bring this spiritual part of yourself into the golden circle along with your wise adult self, the spiritual self. And now invite your witness self into the circle. And she has the ability to see the big picture. That when you feel that moment of confusion and overwhelm, she is the one that taps you on the shoulder and pulls you back so you can see the bigger picture. So imagine, if you can, looking at your life and then just panning back as if you're running the camera in a movie and getting a wide view as you pan back. This is the big picture. And we're just the observer. All we are doing is observing. We don't have to fix anything here. We're just taking in the information. Ah, that's how it is. Oh, I see the bigger picture now. So many ways that you can step back and see the bigger picture. And invite that witness self into your circle with your spiritual self and your wise adult self. And really feel what that feels like to be in the presence of these parts of you. These beautiful, radiant parts of who you are. And let's take a nice deep breath and take it in. And another breath all the way down to your hips. And let it settle there in your hips, right there at your root chakra, and just radiate out in the middle of the circle with your wise adult self, your spiritual self, and your witness self. And as you all just wave in your future self and see her standing outside the circle, looking forward to coming and joining you. But look at her. What does she look like? How does she carry herself? Is she tall and confident? Does she stand tall and confident? What is she wearing? As she's coming closer, how does she move? With grace? Is she radiating? Just take a moment and really connect with this future self. And you notice that she's got something in her hands, and she's brought you a gift. And open your hands and receive the gift. Just take it in, whatever it is. It's sent with love and belief in your highest possibility. Just be present with this future self, and you're looking at the gift. It's in your hands. Just really explore the gift, whatever it is. It could be an object. It could be a symbol of ideas, of inspiration. Just take in that gift. Receive that gift. And take it in with a deep breath. And say thank you. As you invite your future self into your circle with your wise adult self, your spiritual self, your witness self, and your future self. What a group of amazing women in your circle with a golden light all around. And imagine, if you can, just stepping into each other, stepping as one. Get in alignment with these different parts of you, these higher parts of you. And as you stand there, merging as one with all these different parts of you, get a sense of knowing that you can turn to any of these parts of yourself at any time that you need to. And even when you don't need to and you just want to be present with yourself in this way, or when you want to be playful, just get a sense of what that feels like, to be able to call on that adult self when you're having a rough time, or that spiritual self when you need to be lifted up spiritually, or that witness self when you have the choice to either be overwhelmed or look at the big picture. And that future self that really helps you envision where you're going and where you want to be. And take a breath and take it in. And as you exhale, just feel that it's deep and wide and radiating out to the edges of the room or the edges of the space that you're in. Powerful energy, radiant energy. And tonight we are about possibility. So open your heart and mind to your deepest possibility. And know that the answers are within you. I'm only here to shine the light. They're within you. At any moment during the day, any day, you can take a step back, take a deep breath, drop into yourself, deep into yourself, and ask, what am I feeling? What do I need? What's my next step? All of these feelings or these questions that help you connect deeper to yourself, and then listen. Listen for the answers. They are within you. And another deep breath, and come back to the room as if we're sitting in the room together, loving and supporting each other. And you can stretch, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes. How'd that go for you?
It was amazing. I didn't want to leave. That's the thing.
Amazing.
I didn't want to leave. Yeah, I wanted to stay there.
Like being with your tribe.
I was safe and comfortable, and I just wanted to be there.
So I think I want to call that, they call it something else, a different kind of power practice in feminine power. And in order to use the practices, I have to put my own flavor to it and call it whatever I'm going to call it. Now, when I'm doing a feminine power event or coaching, that I'm specifically labeling it or, branding it as feminine power, I have to do it their way. But like when I'm doing facilitation, because in my own coaching, I'm adding all kinds of stuff, but yeah, that being able to tap into that greater part of yourself and be in alignment with that. And I like calling it your tribe.
Yeah.
Invite your tribe in. Let's talk about your tribe, so all the parts of you that you can turn to when you are in that moment where you actually have a choice to go one way or the other. You could go to your spiritual self and ask for guidance. You can go to your witness self and ask, what's the big picture here? What am I not seeing? Show me what I'm not seeing. So if you can imagine just getting on that camera and panning back, right? Like in a movie, seeing the town and then going, oh, there it is, or that future self, because tapping into that future self helps us figure out, what do I want? What, do I want, because if I don't decide what I want, then I just bump along through life.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like being on a trip without a destination. You get lost here and there,
Yes.
Or being on the internet and getting sidetracked.
Totally.
We're supposed to be working on a paper, right? So you focused on the paper, you go, okay. And then or I call it being on a vacation without a destination. So you're here, you're there, you see this, you see that. But if you have a destination, you'll see so much more and have a richer experience, right? You won't miss the things. If you have an intention, you don't miss the little things. And when we have an intention, we open ourselves up and set that law into motion, that we draw the things that align with our intention back to us. And because we have that intention, we're open to those possibilities. Otherwise, we might miss it, right? So that's why it's so powerful and important to have an intention and work on getting really clear with that intention. That vision, or that belief, what it is, that belief in yourself, but that belief in your dreams. What is it you want? What's your deepest desire? And I was reading my notes earlier, and first the question is, what do you want? What do you want? And then as she went through the questions, what's your deepest desire? But you see why we might start it with, what do you want? What do you want? And then what's your deepest desire? Because we have to get used to the idea of somebody's asking me, what do I want? And I can actually have what I want. Oh, wow, what is that? Right? What is that? What could that be? What do I want? And then when you start to get to the feeling of, oh, wow, somebody's asking me, what do I want? Or I'm asking me, what do I want? I can actually maybe have that. So then it kind of takes some of the veils away from it, and you can start being into what's my deepest desire. It's almost like giving you permission to get deeper, right? So we don't always allow ourselves. We go through the day with blinders on, and we tend not to even allow ourselves to dream. We don't take the time to dream. And it's that imagination and tapping that into your feelings and what excites you that helps you step into that place of dreaming and intention and goal setting and manifesting. So, what do you want?
Well, I want to finish my personal training certificate, break down that, bless you.
Thank you.
Break down, study, do that. That's important to me. That's really important to me. And then I want to work less and earn more, and that's part of that equation. I want to start my business, that not the yoga business, that's fine. That's shifted actually, surprisingly. I actually have a product business that I want to start, that one that we were talking about before.
What was it?
It was like it's like for like sports, like a sport.
Oh yeah, clothing.
Mhm. Yeah, that seems like more like, I don't know, it's just a dream that I've had, and I think it's wonderful. And then I just want to feel content with myself, like just with me. That's kind of, I mean, I'm way better now than I have been in a long time. I do have a lot of angst though still at certain times, and I work all the time basically now. All the time I work.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
So,
And I actually I would love to stay out in here in Hammond. I love it out here. It's awesome.
oh, is that what you are?
I just had this like revelation, like I've had this as a dream before. All of this, it's weird.
Uh-huh. So you're staying with a friend in Hammond?
Yeah, and I love her. She's great, and she's been really generous to me, and I'm super grateful to her.
Uh-huh.
And it's nice. It's rough here in winter times, though. That's the only thing that would make me nervous. But and if it's not here, I would want to have a space that's like maybe more towards like where I used to live, like in town by the Gateway Trail, because I like it. Because then I can just go out my back door and go on a run. You know, it's easy. You can just go run. That's what I would want, at least in the immediate nowness. And what I do want, and he's just off in his little trip and he's still going through his thing. I want Chris to be a bigger part of my life. That I want, but I can't control what other people do. So
Okay.
that's a challenge, and it's hard to explain, like in the way of somebody would have to see how we are together. It's amazing. It's just absolutely amazing. I just love him. I'm stubborn Taurus, but anyways, that I have at the bottom of my list right now in my mind, and I actually did put that at the bottom of my list of what I want right now.
Well,
Because
that's a huge step.
yeah.
Because before, when I talked to you, you were in a frenzy about it.
Yeah, I still am a little bit, but that's probably because I'm about to start my period and I'm like kind of on the edge of my emotional body, you know.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's still a rough one, but at the same time, it's just so like tiring.
Yeah. Kind of like spinning your wheels.
Like,
Especially when you realize you can't control someone else.
no, even though it's like everything lines up, he says he's in love with me, he wants to be with me, he knows he does deep down, but he's just, and he even went and saw a psychologist today, and the psychologist basically told him everything I've told him, is basically told him everything that, you know, his mother told him, basically everything everyone's been telling him about his situation. The psychologist basically summed it all up in the same exact way. So I don't know what it's going to take to get through his thick skull.
Well, so you just said, I don't know what it's going to take to get through his thick skull.
Yeah, he's got a thick one. I did too. I am thick too, but yes, it's probably not the healthiest. I know you said not to talk like that.
Well, you can talk however you want. It just depends on what you want to manifest.
Oh.
Because it's not up to me. It's up to you and what you say and what the universe is bringing back. You know, if you get it back tenfold, would you think your words out more carefully?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hear that from a number of sources that you get it back tenfold. Right? And so if you want him to have a thick skull, then you just keep calling him that.
You're right. Shoot, dang it.
And it's not a shoot dang it thing. It's like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? It's not a judgment. I'm just
You're right. Mm.
shining a light on that. I mean, that's the opportunity here, is to take a look at the things we say and what we're creating. Right?
Right. You're
So,
right.
because it kind of goes back to when you were pissed off at him on the text,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So what if you showed up as the best you could be, the best version of yourself, no matter what?
No matter what.
And then that would be things like, getting your personal training certificate, finding ways to work less and earn more, starting your own business,
Yeah.
feeling content with yourself, being in alignment with that. What would that be like? Because if it's not him, it's someone else that you will attract, and I know that you want him, but it's also this father is something greater, because you're not here to heal him or, to fix him. You may show up in his life and do some healing, but the best way to heal is to show up as the example of what you want to be, or you know what I mean?
Totally.
The example of, share that. I gave you that one recording, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one where they ask questions.
Yeah, I believe so, yes. And then you wanted us to do that one recording together, but I haven't really seen him enough time to do that with him, because it just
So send it to him and tell him, my coach sent this to me to share with you. I hope you'll listen to it. I would love to talk to you about it. I'd love to discuss it with you and do, something that's appealing, like, and it's a great opportunity for growth and healing. You see what I'm saying? Not that, it's pushing us together. It's just like, I really want to share this with you, and, blame it on me. My coach sent this to you because she knows that you're having some challenges. And she said, this is a really powerful, way to spend an hour, and you can listen to it alone, but what a wonderful gift if he would do it. Right. And then if they don't do it, you give people, it's like bringing them to water. If they don't drink it, it's on them, but.
God, that statement came up. That's like the theme song right now. Like, I've heard that now like several times today. It's just like, you can bring them to the water, but you can't make them drink it. And I remember that statement when I was a kid. It's like, you can bring someone to water, but you can't make them drink it. Like, no matter how much you want them to do that, then yeah.
So what does that say? What's the lesson there? Huh?
About, the lesson for me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like super attached. Like, I'm a forceful person, maybe?
Control. The word control comes out. I want to control that. Him. Them. If more than one person has said something like that to you, the theme is about controlling things that you don't have control over.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm 100% responsible for what I say, what I think, what I feel, and what I do. That's really all I have control over. Because when I have that kind of control, when I'm focused on that, then I radiate it out to the universe.
Yeah.
And I'm putting it out in a way that's pure. And I'm getting it back tenfold.
Yeah.
Right? So if I have the expectation that others in my life are responsible for what they say, think, feel, and do, then I'm not busy trying to control them.
Yeah.
And
something lightening of the load.
And then there's not this internal dialogue going on that says, why don't they do that? I want him to do that. Why doesn't he do that? What's wrong with him? Whatever. Because that's about control. So you don't have control over that. You can change the vibration right? By how you show up, the thoughts you think, the things you say, the vibration that you're putting out, because whether we realize it or not, when we're trying to control, that's a vibration, a particular vibration. And it's bringing that back. The coach said to me that you're 100% responsible for what you say, think, feel, and do, and so is he. And then she said, how does that feel? And it feels grounded. It feels full. And I mean, there's no room for resentment. There's no room for me controlling him, because I'm 100% responsible for me, and that's a big job. That's big enough, right?
Good job, God. At times, and that's a vibration too. So it's like,
yeah,
yeah, you're right, because like trying to control something that's out of my control is very exhausting.
Yeah. Now,
Really,
wouldn't that energy be better spent or utilized focusing on what you do want to create?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm inviting you to really this week get clarity on what do you want to create. Pick an intention for the week. One.
Yeah.
You don't have to overwhelm yourself. And then, you have a lot of tools for self-care. And then ask yourself, what am I doing? What can I be doing? Right? And then commit to yourself. You want to create something greater for yourself. You want to work less. I tell you what, my job has been really stressful the last couple of days. We're shorthanded, and I'm so grateful that it's wound care and that I'm not doing primary care and getting my butt kicked doing that. But I keep it's helping me get clarity. I was talking to Matt on the way home, my boyfriend, and told him, I think I sent him a text at first. He said, how was your day? And I said, it was rough. I'm visualizing. What did I say? I said, how was your day? He says. I said, having my own business is looking really good right now. And I put in parentheses, rough day. Because I bet, sorry. I go, well, it just motivates me and gives me clarity. And he said, you're something else. I love to watch you. Because look, did you see that shift? So I could have been nagging and complaining about the day. It was a rough day. Yeah, it was a rough day. Yesterday was worse. But what it does do is gives me, motivation and clarity to be and do and show up as and be in alignment with what I want to create. Because complaining about it is just going to bring more of it, or not taking action is just going to keep me stagnant. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So take it, and then I can't do it all at once, but if I can take baby steps and say, okay, I'm going to spend 30 minutes working on this, or I'm going to plan my week out and I'm going to, start my campaigns. My intention is to get 500 people on my mailing list in the next 30 days. Well, I may not get all 500, but I'll get a few, right? Or whatever it is that you want to work toward, thinking it out. You've got some business experience from that class we took. So, you have it within yourself to do some planning. What do I want to create? Mm-hmm. And I will say, and I don't know how it is now, but if you wanted to create an online store and do drop ship they have lots of sportswear in that are pretty inexpensive, like leggings and stuff. If you want to, and I realize it's other people's stuff, but you could create an income, right? Mm-hmm. You could start buying and selling and finding out what people like. You could start a Facebook group where you're talking about it. There are a lot of things you could do, and not taking on overwhelming steps, but, write it out. Pick a plan and write it out. Like, for instance, your personal training certification. What does that mean to you? How would that feel?
Mm-hmm.
right? And how could you monetize that? What does that mean to you financially?
Right. Well, yeah, it's huge. I mean, I could easily charge probably $50 an hour, which is like, it's like 4 hours of my work anywhere else. That saves me 3 hours of time. It's like so huge.
So how far are you from finishing it?
Well, I have till August to their testing date for what I paid for. I did kind of flounder just with all the moving and the stress and everything that I was going through emotionally. I didn't study as much, but I have been studying. I shouldn't say, but I have been studying. And after this, I'm going to go back to the house because I'm sitting in my car right now. And then I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to study, and then I'm going to go to bed, and I'm going to wake up, and I'm going to work, and then I'm going to study again. That's
So,
basically.
I'm sorry.
That's basically what it's going to have to be for a while so I can get the material down and then take the test. I mean, that's so important to me. I just need to use every spare moment I have.
So how many hours of studying would it take for you to pass that test?
Well, he said most people, if they just sit down and study it, maybe like a couple hours every day or at least split it up an hour minimum, then he said most people can get prepared enough within a month.
So you need to study 7 hours a week or say 10 hours a week.
Right.
And it needs to be organized so that you make sure you capture all the material.
Mm-hmm.
July's here, so it's going to be in August.
Mm-hmm.
So what if one way, if I can suggest, and I think I might have said it before, when I wanted to raise my SAT score so it would help me get into a university,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was I don't remember how much it was at the end, but I said, okay, I'm going to study 30 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I went and got a book, and I would clock in and clock out. I'd set my alarm for 30 minutes, and I would study
Mm-hmm.
and stay focused and study, and I would write that down. Sometimes I'd go another 30 minutes, but my intention was to get so many hours in, and so that's why I asked you how many hours would it take. So say you studied 10 hours a week.
Yeah.
So say you said, okay, I'm going to spread it out throughout the week. I'll study 30 minutes, and then see how I feel. But my intention is to get 10 hours a week.
Right.
I guarantee you'll find that you don't want to put it down at times.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're so busy focusing on getting the hours in, because we're so used to working hours and trading time for money, right? We're so used to clocking in and doing that thing.
Right.
So it's a trick for your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you're not going, oh God, I got to study. I'm not really into it. You're going, okay, I have an hour to do today, because I got to study sounds like an uphill push sometimes, but I got an hour to study.
Right.
I want to put my hour in to study, or I want to put my 30 minutes into study, or hey, I got 5 hours in this week. I can take a break.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? If you get it done early, you've got it done.
Mm-hmm.
Having that strong intention, because that's a viable way of you making money. You could go work at a gym, right, and offer your services,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And do you teach yoga, so you could, incorporate it with that. And I realize there's probably so many gyms in your area, but there's that many opportunities too.
Yeah, and they love me at the gym here. Everyone knows me. I know all the people that go there, and the people at the gym love me, and I love them, and it's like it would be a good match.
So, and then maybe you had some kind of beginning package once you got your certification.
Mm-hmm.
Get them all hooked. Like we had this massage therapist who used to advertise at the church. And this was like 20 years ago, so don't get me on the pricing, but It was $35 for an hour massage. And as long as you made another appointment, you got to keep and followed through, you got to keep that $35. You see the brilliance in that? That guy was so busy, he was hard to get booked with.
Mm.
You know, so I'm not saying do it exactly like that. What?
Did you see that again?
So what he did was he said, okay, it's $35, and he had advertised at church. $35 for an hour massage.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you follow through with the appointment, you make another appointment, you get it $35. As long as you made the next appointment and followed through, it was always going to be $35.
Oh, I see.
So, and I'm not saying that that's the deal you want to offer, but understanding that if you give an incentive price for them to book and follow through,
mm-hmm.
then they have maybe so many
right
that you do. So start thinking about your marketing and asking other people, how do other successful personal trainers, make it. You might Google it, and just like we did, we wanted, or in that class, to go find out what your market is,
mm-hmm.
But getting the certification done or being ready for it and getting it done could be a powerful catalyst to getting you to your next level of your life.
I feel so, yes. Very much so.
Okay.
And I love it. I love it. I love to work out. I love to be at the gym. I just love it. Basically, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Very active person. I love being active. I love moving. That's just a passion for me.
So what's the next step that you could take?
Like you said, I love that idea, the writing down and sticking to that and being with it.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to follow through with it if you're focused on getting the hours done. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
It's almost like doing affirmations and checking it off on the calendar where you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's in an app, it's not the same thing. But if I do them and then go put a little star on the calendar or check on my list, it's like, yeah, I did it. Okay. And then you're in it helps build the momentum, the motivation to do more.
Right. Yes, exactly. And it's like, it's not even just about the certification, just like fulfilling something else again that I feel like I'm just like being progressive and moving forward.
Uh-huh.
It's exciting.
You get, and it's like if the goals are too far out, then you move the goalpost closer.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I read a quote in one of my things, or in my book I have about, I don't remember what it was. Something like if your goals seem too far out there, or then you bring your goalposts closer. So where you make sure you have little wins.
Mm-hmm.
This is the big goal. Well, this is like doing my hour today. There's my goalpost. Woohoo! Got that one done, and then it builds on itself.
Yeah.
Because all of this has been happening for since November.
Mm-hmm.
All your shifts and changes in life.
Mm-hmm.
So getting clear on your living situation, what you want to create.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going through the same thing. I think we have to love where we're at. We have to accept and be appreciative, actually incredibly grateful.
Right.
For where we are. And then from that place of power, make the next step, the next choice, keep moving in the next, in the direction, but, one step at a time.
Yes, one step at a time. Yeah. Not being too far, like you said, not too far ahead, because it could drive a person nuts.
We can set ourselves up for failure if we make that goal too far out there, that it's,
right.
It's so hard to attain, or that we can't visualize it getting done. So, you can see doing 7 hours a week or 10 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a huge stretch.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you start this week, you'll do 7 hours, right?
Yeah.
Making sure you do the 7 hours, and then you go, oh, that was easy. Look what I did. I'm so proud of myself. And then I'm going to do 10 hours next week. And you can keep it at 10 hours, but each week you're working through each module or whatever, and quizzing yourself, that kind of thing. I've been thinking about doing continuing education units for nurses. Thinking, okay, how would I do that? Because once I am off my thing and I pay for the nursing education certification or licensing, I have access to every nurse in the state of California.
Nice.
It's an e-arena address. I send it to, you know what I mean? Being part of that, I'm pretty sure it's that, not an email, but okay, so I get bulk mail and run off a bunch of them, and then go convince the nursing board to let me teach the people who are in recovery. I tell them that, in my 4 years of probation, what I've learned is that, there are some statistics about nurses that are very powerful, that there's a high incidence of, of substance abuse and codependency. And so what I need to do is put it in a research kind of thing. So that, because, I have to appeal to that, but I see it.
Yeah.
And then get a website just for it. And once it gets going, then what happened? You went dark.
I know. I had to turn my car battery on because there we go.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm just sitting in my car right now. I was at work. Then I got texted to see if for one of my co-teachers if I would sub. So I did that. Then I drove back here. I jumped in Hammond Pond for like 15 minutes, and now here we are. So I'm just sitting in the car.
Okay, so what's next for you? What and you're sitting in the car, you're not anywhere where you could write anything down. I want to invite you to take some paper and write your commitment down. There's something about taking pen to paper and writing what you want.
Yeah, you're right. And what's next? I think, I was going to study tonight. My brain's really burnt right now. I'm really tired. So what's going to help, I feel, in the 10 hours, because I actually like that number. I think that's a very fair number. It's not too much. It's not too little. Is that, because we're still in June, so even and they said August, so I can always choose the latest date in August to do it, so I can, get
more time studying,
study time. And then, what was I going to say? Is sitting down tonight and doing a Google Calendar for my phone, updating it, because I've been missing things, and because I've been doing it in my paper calendar, and I've been kind of spun out because I've been working so much. But it's nice with my phone because then it just tells me, it's like bing, next thing, okay, got it. Because that's right now, that is the flow of my life at the moment. It's a busy life, and it would be nice to have everything like written out, spelled out, so I can say, okay, I can omit this, and this, and I can consolidate this, and this, and where do I want to work more, and where don't I want to work more, and I can get more focused in that way.
Yeah, and I see the value in the Google Calendar, because you're right. You put an appointment on there, and it tells you.
It
reminds you. So
there with me, and I like my paper calendar, and I keep that with me, and just being more present with it, and
yeah. But the phone will help. That'd be a good place to start, especially if you're responding to that right now. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like you're going to get a calendar going, and you can, and what I'm hearing is that you want to respect it.
Yes.
That maybe on the paper calendar you haven't kept those commitments. You just kind of gets out of sight, out of mind. So having the phone tell you when, or record it in and tell you when, that sounds very powerful. You know, that.
Yeah.
So what would be the shift that would keep you on track versus going, oh, I don't feel like doing that, when it comes to you on the phone as a reminder?
Just really, like, again, that consolidation, sitting and actually looking at the calendar and then just paring it down. So there's some things that I could probably just say, nope, 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 nope. I appreciate the offer, because people are always offering me things, which, and on one side of the coin, I feel really abundant. Like, I'm always like, people are like, well, you want to help me with this? Do you want to help me with that? It's like, wow, what an abundant thing. Like, so many people confide in me and trust in me, and you know, like, want to offer me these odd jobs, but I can't do everything.
Right. And part of that might be that codependent part that says yes to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what can you say instead of yes?
No, thank you. I love you.
That, or let me get back to you, so that you have time to think about it before you just do that knee-jerk yes.
Yeah.
You know, let me check my calendar. Let me get back to you, and then get back to them. But practice it a few times. You know, say, I appreciate the offer. I'm finding that I've got some other things going on that I need to take care of.
Right.
You don't have to tell them what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Pick it apart, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It leaves you open for that opportunity for them to pick it apart. That way you keep it as, I'm responsible for what I say, think, feel, and do. Because if I lay it out there for others, then they think they're responsible, and they start taking, you know. So we want to, especially when you've been used to being there for everyone else or for so many people, because when you change the pattern or the contract, the unwritten contract, they don't always respond well to it in the beginning. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
If you've always said yes and suddenly you're saying no, it's like you've abandoned them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they need to build a new muscle that says, I'm independent, you know, and I'm responsible for myself, or, you know what I mean? That Liv isn't going to pick up all my stuff, right? Or come to my rescue, right?
Yeah.
I guess I got to handle, or whatever. But I do understand the yes to everything, you know, and how that can, like, burn you out, you know, because you extend yourself so thin.
Mm-hmm.
That
yes.
you couldn't possibly. I remember when I was 19, a friend of mine pointed out, we were working at the Broadway in Century City, and I was sewing for myself then. I'd make myself clothes. And someone would say, oh, that's so beautiful. I want you to make me something. And I would say yes every time. I couldn't say no. I didn't know how to say no. And my friend pointed out that if I did everything I said yes to, I would never have enough time in the day.
Exactly. So true.
It was impossible for me to say yes. It was so powerful. I mean, that's 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Over 42 years ago, and I remember that. That was a shift. That I don't have to say yes to everything. I don't have to do, you know, take care of everyone else. I don't, you know, and I don't have to please everyone else. And that's the other question to ask yourself: why am I saying yes? You know, am I putting myself last, and am I doing it to please them and to put them first? You know, in each decision, am I forgetting myself? Because we already know what that feels like. We're really good at it. We've been really good at it. I don't want to claim it for now or the future. We have experienced that. Let's put it that way. It doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
We choose moment to moment. We get to choose. Yes. We already know where that got us.
Yes.
Where, you know, that identity matrix talks about, you know, being alone, and, you know, others think you have it together because we don't accept help, right? Mm-hmm. That identity doesn't accept help. They take care of everyone else. So then the message everybody gets, or people get, is that, oh, they don't need our help. We couldn't even ask for help, even if we needed help. right? But we were there to help others, right? I mean, how easy or hard is it for you to ask someone to help you?
But
That's my point. You see what I'm saying? So it's not balanced. If we're so willing to be there for someone else, but we have a tough time asking, what do you think we need to work on?
yeah, that receiving
Yeah,
aspect.
taking care of ourselves and receiving, asking
Mm-hmm.
for help, you know, and maybe that person wouldn't be able to help us. I remember I needed somewhere to stay when I was cleaning my house out. There's no furniture in there, and I needed somewhere to stay. And
Mm-hmm.
somebody from church had said, "Yeah, you could stay here," but she meant the weekend, and she had a cat, and just didn't work. It was getting cold, and she brought the cat in, and it was slept in that room. And I hung up that phone, and I felt so abandoned. But then I shifted it and said to myself, it just isn't the right timing. I'll find a place. And a while later, I reached out to someone else and she said, yeah, come on over.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what time you come. Just do what you got to do and then come over. Let me know and I'll make sure the door's unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I actually ended up going over there for dinner and having dinner with her and then getting up early in the morning. I was done anyway. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it didn't come where I thought it was going to. But
Mm-hmm.
as soon as I shifted and let go of it, my pity party, got
Mm-hmm.
back into the vibration of I deserve and I'm receiving, then
Yes.
someone showed up in that capacity. It's powerful stuff.
Yeah, it is. You're right. I know, you're so right. Because there was a wave for a period, even though I was still kind of like not settled, but where I was like just feeling really good and like super confident and like just like amazing things were gravitating all around me.
Well, it's because when you're not feeling confident and when you're having that pity party, you wouldn't notice it if it slapped you in the face. If it was something you know what I mean? If it was something there to love and support you, we wouldn't even
Mm-hmm.
notice it. We're not receptive to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's why, and so when you were receptive to it, you were tuned into it,
Yeah.
you noticed it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something powerful to remember. Not only when we're not receptive do we miss it, but we repel it. We send it away. Oh no,
Mm.
I don't deserve that. Oh no, no, no. Right? You may not
Mm.
be physically doing that, but in the universe, it's like, a magnet's polarized. On one end, it pushes the stuff away, and the other one, it draws it to. And so you got that, or we have that magnet turned around and it's repelling it back, pushing it back when we're in that negative state.
Mm-hmm.
Funny how
Yeah.
that works. But when we're in that positive state and that possibility state, not only do we attract it, we're more aware and awakened to it, so we see even more. You ever
Yes.
notice, like you buy a car or you like a car and you notice what color it is, and then every time you turn around, that color's there, that car is there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that's because that's what we're tuned into.
Right.
Right? So we know they're there. They're probably there anyway, but we know they're there because we tuned into it.
We tuned into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we tuned into it. So then there's an abundance of them.
Yes.
It's like if I'm sitting there complaining, then there's an abundance of shit. Right?
Yeah.
So
Seriously.
there was a book I read, I think it was either Florence Scovel Shinn or Catherine Ponder. I think it was Florence Scovel Shinn. And that book was written in like the 1920s. But you don't know it when you're reading it. It's when you're, I was reading something and it mentioned a streetcar, and I'm going, streetcar? When was this written? It was what was the name of that book? The Game of Life and How to Play It.
That's
1924, 23. And it mentions a streetcar, and I'm like, what year was this written? And I looked and I couldn't believe it because that book was so relevant, so
yeah.
applicable,
The game of life and how to play it.
It was powerful to see that. Yeah, Florence Scovel Shinn. She has one, Your Word is Your Wand, and really helps you take a look at how powerful your words are. Your
Mm.
mind listens to your mouth, right?
Yeah.
Becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy if you're constantly saying negative things. Just remember, be impeccable with your word,
Mm-hmm.
right? Be impeccable with your word. Don't speak poorly of yourself or others.
Yeah.
So speak highly of yourself and others, right? No gossip. Even calling someone thick-headed is speaking poorly of them. That's not
Mm-hmm.
impeccable with your word. So, it's noticing those things, not beating yourself up, but noticing,
Mm-hmm.
the things you say and where did it come from?
Yeah.
Or why am I saying that? What's my feeling? What's my belief?
Right.
My feeling, like if I'm saying someone's thick-headed, okay, my feeling is I'm frustrated and I can't get through to them, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Or maybe no one listens to me, or he doesn't listen to me. But then, okay, so that's the feeling. Then what's the belief? What is the belief on that one? He's thick-headed.
True. True.
I can't get through to him. He's not present, right? If he's thick-headed, he's not listening, he's not tuned in, he's not present. So the
Mm-hmm.
belief is he's not present. Well, guess what? He probably isn't, because he's got a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and then who said stuff like that to you, that you would say something like that? Because it came
Well,
from somebody. You didn't make that up, right?
yeah.
Did somebody say something like that to you? Did somebody introduce that saying to you, a mother, a father, somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thick-headed, calling someone a name when you can't get through to them. Maybe that's the behavior
Yeah.
that we need to identify. And then,
That's ridiculous, isn't it? That's kind of ridiculous. It's like it is name calling.
it is. It
Mm.
is. So, I mean, would I want someone to call me something like that? Nah, I don't think I'd like that. I don't want to be called a name. Okay, so it is name calling. It's not being impeccable with your word. It is name calling. And then what's the truth? Well,
What's the truth? The truth is I'm frustrated. That's the
right.
truth. I'm just frustrated. I'm frustrated because I'm holding high expectations for this moment now, and it's not to say that something couldn't be in the future, but I am frustrated because I'm not getting what I want right now.
So what does that sound like?
A baby.
So I'm frustrated because I'm not getting what I want right now. So let's say, and the other bigger picture is he has a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to get himself healthy and sort things out so he can be healthy and have healthy relationships.
Right.
Right? And do I really want to have a relationship with someone who's not healthy? Because it'll be the same kind of relationships I've had in the past. Someone who's not healthy, who does something that hurts me or that I feel disappointed in. So what if I could connect with someone on a level, him or someone else, on a level that was loving and respectful?
Yeah.
So many of us, like, I give out that recording and then I watch and see when people actually listen to it. Because
Mm-hmm.
when they take the time to listen to it, they're ready to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Right? Because and I've had my sister give me stuff and me not listen to it or not follow through with it. The other day I was sitting there and I went through my Hotmail and I put my sister's name in there and I started looking through all the stuff that she
Mm-hmm.
sent me that I meant to get to. Powerful stuff. I'm using some of it in my workshop. Powerful stuff.
Yeah.
We're ready. And we're not ready until we're ready.
Right.
And what keeps us not ready? We do.
Yeah.
It's an inside job, so
Yeah.
it's really getting into alignment with, okay, what can I do to help bring myself up to the next level? What am I willing to do to get some wind under my wings and lift me up, right?
Yeah.
What am I willing to do, even if it's a baby step? Like lately, I've been doing hollow sync meditation in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up before my alarm goes off at 5, and I'll plug in my headphones and listen, and I might go back to sleep. You're not really supposed to, but this is when I have a half hour in the morning, and sometimes I do go to sleep. Sometimes I wake up and then turn it on again, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a way of nurturing myself, because I could turn the TV on or turn Netflix on, and
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching Designated Survivor. I don't know if you've seen that one, but oh my God, with Kiefer Sutherland. It's political drama about the entire Congress getting, and Senate being, and the president being blown up, and some big conspiracy or whatever. But what I find is myself going, okay, I can watch this or I can meditate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if I meditate, because this other thing's an addiction.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's binge watching. I can watch an episode and maybe come back tomorrow and watch another one. I see it quicker than it was broadcasted anyway. But
Right.
now, on the weekend, I got that going, and I still meditated. But I noticed that one morning that I wanted to watch that instead of meditate. And then I finally put it away and said, no, I want to meditate. But what I'm saying is, we do that all day long. We have those kinds of choices to make. Do I take care of me, or do I just keep doing, spinning my wheels? Do I take a few minutes and put myself first, and really be in that resonance and that vibration of I matter and I count? Because that's going to take me and carry me a lot farther than watching something that I'm like just turning on the TV and watching whatever, or just doing something that, doesn't add to the gift I want to give myself. So we decide, it's up to us all the time. We always have the choice. That's why when in the meditation, when I was saying about, when you see that overwhelm is coming, or you can step back with your witness self and look at the big picture. Right? It's in one hand, overwhelm, step back, look at the big picture. Oh, I get to choose. I got one in each hand. I want this one. Sometimes I'm going to choose that one when I'm not thinking clearly, right? But we always have a choice. We always have a choice.
Yeah.
Every minute of every day, we always have a choice. It's when we let overwhelm take over us, or a circumstance. It's when the difference between responding and reacting.
Right. Responding, reacting.
And reacting. Am I responding or am I reacting? Well, when we are reacting, it's usually like a short fuse,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's that feeling inside that you just run with. But reacting is going, oh, I feel this feeling in my gut. I feel tightening in my gut. I think I'm triggered. What am I going to do about that? Oh, I'm triggered. What am I feeling? What's my belief? What's the truth? Or where did I hear that? And then what's the truth? So really having that line of questions to ask yourself can be so, powerful when you face that moment when you feel triggered. And then what happens is that instead of getting triggered and reacting, you start to go, I feel that. Oh, what's going on here? What am I feeling? Versus getting yourself in a deep doo-doo. You're saying and doing things that you really didn't want to.
Yeah.
So, okay. So what are your takeaways?
Well, I'm super grateful to you, and I love you so much. You're awesome on every level. And my takeaways are basically focus on live, love, live.
Yeah.
Live, be with live. Like live is cool. Like I've got goals and motivations and things that Liv needs to do, and I'm worth putting my energy into.
Mhm.
And
You get to choose.
yeah, I get to choose Liv.
You know,
Choose.
because
Mm-hmm.
Chris, it could be Chris, could be someone else. And when you let go of it has to be Chris, all kinds of possibilities open up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because Chris may or may not be ready. Chris clearly has some healing to do. So if you put yourself first, then your life doesn't depend on Chris.
Right.
Life depends on Liv, and Liv gets to decide what Liv wants.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of person Liv wants in your life, you know, that you want in your life. You know, you get to make those conscious choices instead of being the victim of circumstance or the victim of the opposite of that, you know, the going on a vacation and having a destination. You're, you know, the victim of whatever comes up.
Right.
Right? You get to decide what you want to come up and how you want it to be. And yeah, things will happen that don't really go in alignment with it, but nothing is as bad when you're in a positive place as it is when you're in a negative place and feeling victimized, right? And overwhelmed and all of those things. So if you stay in that positive vibration and make sure that you value yourself and who you came here to be, much better path.
Yeah.
Yeah, much better path. We're both looking really sleepy. I will do this tomorrow. Okay, I'll look and see what videos I have. I'm off tomorrow.
All right.
You good?
I'm good. I'm great. I'm always grateful after talking to you. It's like new upgrade.
Level up.
I know.
Oh, let's go to bed. I am so sleepy. You look tired too. Go take care of yourself. When you do sit down and do some time studying, I would love it if you would text me.
Okay.
Just finished an hour of prep for my exam or something, or you don't even have to say what it is, but it helps when you do delineate it out, because then you get to celebrate it too. But you know, utilize me as an accountability partner. It's like, yay, just finished an hour. You know, you get to keep track of the hours. I just want, you know, if you're sending me that and you're having such a good time when you do that, it'll make a difference. Let me just show you real quick what I got. It's Gilded Tarot Cards.
Nice.
And a book on how to read them.
Nice.
I don't have a clue. It was like $13-14. So that was, but there's 3 things in there. Yeah. Oh no, it's a okay, so it's a book and cards. I hope they're pretty. Oh, they're sealed. There's one.
Oh, I have that deck. I have that deck. See, we have the same taste.
Yeah. Well, I got this one because they had a book. I don't have a clue how to do these. So
that deck is amazing. I love that deck, except for it's in my storage now. Yeah. I just like was at a moment where I was like, I can't handle this anymore. I'm not going to look at these for a while. I don't need it. I don't want to know.
I got a lot of that in storage. But my commitment is within a year to be able to pull everything out and put it in my new home.
Nice. Yes.
So if I shoot for a year, I will be a lot closer than I am now. Right?
True.
And that's part of making those commitments, or getting that vision and making those commitments.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll talk to you next week. Let's kind of play it by ear. I might be able to do it Sunday because what time do you get done on Sunday?
Well, the class goes to 7, so probably a safer bet would be if we could do like say 8. That would be more fair. Because by the time I finish up and then wrap up with everything.
Okay. So let's look for 8 o'clock, and I can't wait to see what you have in your accomplished pile.
Okay.
In your accomplished vibration. That's okay. All right,
Thank
sweetie.
you.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
So sleepy.